Okay. Okay. Let's get it going. Like I said, don't comment, like, and subscribe. Make sure you hit that notification bell so you can get every time I drop something. Now, as you can see from the title, China military parade 2025 live. Clinton Kim Jong Un boom attends as weapons on display. Yeah. Okay, let's check this out, y'all. See what they do.
Firm and resilient. From May 7th to 10th, President Xi Jinping made a state visit to Russia and attended commemorations in Moscow of the 80th anniversary of the victory of the Soviet Union's Great Patriotic War. In World War II, China was the main battlefield in Asia, and the Soviet Union was the main battlefield in Europe.
奥利，很高兴再见。斯洛伐克总理菲索。Good to see you again. 很高兴再次见到你，祝贺。越南国家主席梁强。
We're watching live pictures from the heart of Beijing, the Tiananmen.
伊朗总统及女儿。米昂莱代总统。阿塞拜疆总统和夫人。马尔代夫总统。
Welcome to China. 很高兴再次见到你。
武契奇总统和夫人。高兴见到您。蒙古总统和夫人。津巴布韦总统姆南加古瓦。
Welcome to China. 很高兴再次见到你。
刚果布总统萨苏。哈萨克斯坦总统托卡耶夫。印尼总统普拉博沃。
Thank you for being here.
亚美尼亚总理及夫人。西哈莫尼国王。米尔基耶夫总统和夫人。
昨天的会见非常好。
卢卡申科总统。拉赫蒙总统。
Here's what we know about the commemoration that will happen here today. The Chinese president will deliver an important speech after the commemoration. And the commemoration includes a massive military parade, which is composed of two parts: the inspection of the troops and the march past, lasting approximately 70 minutes.
Welcome to China.
总书记。
The Chinese president and his wife welcoming guests arriving for the commemoration. And now they're walking towards a group photo where the arriving international dignitaries will take a group photo together with the Chinese president.
We are certainly marking a significant anniversary today on September 3rd. China is commemorating the 80th anniversary of the victory
Thank you.
This gathering today in commemoration of the victory also heralds a new beginning for all countries to work together to create a harmonious world and safeguard global peace.
Well, as you can see right there, front and center on this gate is the character Duan Men. The Chinese character Duan also conveys righteousness, which is consistent with the message of safeguarding international justice.
The leaders are now walking together towards the Tiananmen rostrum. It's a short walk from the Duanmen Gate we've been telling you about, which stands just north of the Tiananmen rostrum, to the rostrum itself.
And Zhongxi, you know, for many foreign leaders who have visited China before, the Tiananmen rostrum, or the Forbidden City, is a familiar sight. Many of them have been here before to the Forbidden City. However, this gathering here today holds a special significance.
Absolutely. The Tiananmen rostrum sits right in the heart of the Chinese capital, with viewing platforms that can overlook the Tiananmen Square. The leaders will be walking towards the rostrum. They will ascend to the viewing platform on the rostrum and view the military parade together.
Now, as they walk on the red carpet to make their way to the top of the Tiananmen rostrum, a little bit of background information about the structure. It was built as a ceremonial gate to the imperial city in the Ming Dynasty. It's witnessed ties of Chinese history in the past 6 centuries.
And in 1937, Tiananmen Square witnessed the fall of Peking. In October 1945, Japanese invaders in North China officially surrendered at the square of the Hall of Supreme Harmony in the Forbidden City.
Today's commemoration is certainly a big national event, a military event as well, as troops and armaments are standing by ready for the inspection. It is also a significant diplomatic event, as heads of state, leaders of international organizations are convening here to review the commemoration and the parade.
The leaders are making full use of this time as they walk together to the Tiananmen rostrum, engaging in friendly chit-chat and conversations.
And today, the Tiananmen rostrum, steeped in the depths of history, will again witness new glory. It is a pretty long walk to ascend to the top of the Tiananmen rostrum.
"80 decades ago, World War II ended with over 100 million casualties among soldiers and civilians worldwide. Chinese casualties were more than 35 million. And today is about commemorating the victory in that war, in the Chinese People's War of Resistance against Japanese aggression, as well as the World Anti-Fascist War. And now the leaders are arriving at that expansive viewing platform up on the Tiananmen rostrum.
And we understand that some of the veterans of the War of Resistance were given their own viewing spots on top of the Tiananmen rostrum. Crowds are welcoming China's top leader, as well as international dignitaries. We are seeing veterans sitting there, and President Xi Jinping and international dignitaries. 100-year-old 94-year-old 100-year-old veteran from the Kuomintang. And during the fight against the Japanese aggression, the Chinese people established a national united front to safeguard their homeland.
Obviously, the Chinese president was very pleased to see the veterans present up on the Tiananmen rostrum. He even introduced the veterans to his guests there, and shaking hands with the veterans, greeting them, welcoming them to this very important commemoration.
And the veterans represent the legacies of this long-fought war. And their spirit of resilience, of peace, of perseverance still echo on every inch of China's soil now.
It's certainly a very heartwarming scene there to have the veterans seated up on the Tiananmen rostrum. They are the real heroes and role models, and they motivate us to keep pushing forward. The victory of the Chinese People's War of Resistance against Japanese aggression is a glory shared by the Chinese nation and also people worldwide who stand for justice. Professor Gao, Mr. Zhou, let's bring you in for this part. Obviously, the veterans are seated, out there on the Tiananmen rostrum so that they have an opportunity to participate in the commemoration today. What do you make of that arrangement, Professor Gao?
Well, I think this is really the right thing to do because they fought against the Japanese aggressors. They shed their blood, and they have always been honored by the People's Republic, by the Chinese people, and now they are in the center of this reviewing process of the parade to commemorate the 80th year anniversary of the victory against Japanese aggression. And I think we all hail them as the real heroes, defending China's sovereignty and territorial integrity and fighting off the Japanese aggressors.
Real heroes and real witnesses, not only to the atrocities of the war, but more importantly to the final victory. And we're so happy that they get to see the commemoration today. Mr. Zhou, your thoughts?
Well, I think I can't agree more with Victor Gao about the importance of having these veterans standing on Tiananmen Square. I think it's rare, it won't be easy for us to see these people right now because they're all very old people, but they're still alive, but they can still see how strong China is today, in which they have made their due and a great contribution. So I think that is indeed a great honor for them to be there and for us to see them there.
Now, many of these veterans fought under extremely harsh conditions: poverty, famine, the lack of military resources. What does their perseverance teach us about the spirits of, resilience and courage? And, besides honoring them in events like this, what more could we do, Professor Gao, to really weave their legacies more into everyday life?
I think these veterans 80 years ago, or more than 80 years ago, fought against Japanese aggressors not only as soldiers, but they were true representatives of the Chinese nation, true representative of the Chinese culture and the Chinese civilization. In their bodies, I can see the most splendid and the glorious part of the Chinese civilization. So they became the epitome of the Chinese nation. They became the epitome of the Chinese civilization. And by shedding blood for their own motherland, by fighting off foreign aggressors, they set an example for the future generation. So now we honor them as our national hero, and the younger generation draw inspiration from these veterans and learn lessons from them, and we become redoubled in our commitment to defending peace and defending China and defending the Chinese culture and ultimately the Chinese civilization.
You know, obviously, we're commemorating this day. We're inviting veterans up on the Tiananmen rostrum to carry on the spirit of the war of resistance against the Japanese aggression. Mr. Zhou, how do we do that? How do we make sure that the spirit of perseverance, the spirit of never surrender, the spirit of defending your motherland lives on in today's world?
Well, these people are actually old soldiers, right? And old soldiers never die. So what they have left us are actually a litany of fine traditions. But if you look at the PLA today, you would find it so interesting to see that how small they were at that time and how ill-equipped they were at that time. But on the contrary, today, China is almost the opposite, right? China is having the largest armed force in the world, and in the moment we're going to see all the modern weaponry and combat platforms. But still, this kind of fine traditions are basically in the heart and in the blood of our modern day soldiers, because that's really matter, for us if you are going to another war. So you have to think of where you come from, right? And what kind of traditions are already placed in you. So these people basically are the very sources of a fine tradition.
How can remembering their sacrifices and contributions inspire values that are still relevant today? Professor Gao.
Well, I think they are the true Chinese nationals and our heroes. But allow me to mention, behind these veterans, I also see those who fell on the battleground, who really sacrificed their lives for the Chinese nation. So I think we not only see these veterans who are the true representative of those heroes fighting against Japanese aggressors, but they are also representatives of all the millions of the Chinese soldiers who shed their blood, who sacrificed their life, and they too become the national heroes for the current generation of the Chinese nation and the future generations. And I think by honoring them, we honor ourselves, we honor our national history and our Chinese civilization, and we honor peace. That is the most important thing.
You know, we talked about international solidarity towards ending the Second World War, and the international solidarity is also present today with the turnout of those international dignitaries that have arrived in Beijing. You're looking at live pictures of the Tiananmen Square that's fully decorated for the commemoration today. There are the year marking installations that show the years 1945 and 2025. Today is September 3rd. In the capital, Beijing, the commemoration of the 80th anniversary of the victory of the Chinese People's War of Resistance against Japanese aggression in the World Anti-Fascist War will begin soon.
CGTN is broadcasting the commemoration live to global audiences. We're now watching live pictures from the Tiananmen Square. The commemoration is going to begin in just a moment. And we could see the obelisk, the monument to the people's heroes.
The commemoration of the 80th anniversary of the victory of the Chinese People's War of Resistance against Japanese aggression and the World Anti-Fascist War now begins. Please all rise and stand at attention. Fire the gun.
An 80-gun salute is fired to mark the 80 years since the victory of the War of Resistance. The thunder of guns resembles roars of soldiers on the battleground. It is also like a song of triumph, sending the time and space to tell our fallen heroes. China today is a great country with majestic mountains and rivers, and its people are full of pride and ambition.
Great changes have taken place over the 80 years from 1945 to 2025. Today, China is safeguarding world peace and contributing to the progress of human civilization with fearless strength and determination. The Great Wall symbolizes the unyielding spirit of the Chinese nation. This great nation never bows to any enemy or any force. Those who dare to invade us are doomed to crash into the Iron Great Wall with bloodshed.
Chinese people's deep love towards the motherland can be seen from the steadfast gaze of the honor guards. When their patriotism erupts like a volcano, there will be no insurmountable hurdles or unachievable feats for them. Never stops. Under the strong leadership of the Communist Party of China, the Chinese nation, with a firm grip on its own destiny, is marching forward staunchly and proudly.
monument of the people's heroes to the national flagpole. And from the great victory to the great rejuvenation, the Chinese nation has walked a long way of innumerable difficulties and hardships.
This is a road to national independence and people's liberation. It is also a road to national dignity, prosperity, and strength, and a road to Chinese modernization and a global community with a shared future.
The national anthem, March of the Volunteers, which was born during wartime, will soon be played. It was written in 1935 in the early years of the war against Japanese aggression.
Raise the national flag and sing the national anthem. Please be seated. I invite General Secretary of the 60th Central Committee, President of the People's Republic of China, and Chairman of the Central Military Commission, Comrade Xi Jinping, to deliver an important speech.
全国同胞们
All my fellow Chinese across the
尊
nation,
敬的各位国家元首
Your Excellencies, heads of state and government,
和
and
国际组织代
representatives
表
of international organizations,
尊敬的各位来宾
distinguished guests,
全体受阅将士们
all officers and
同
soldiers
志们
participating in the
朋友
parade,
们
comrades, and
今
friends.
天我们
Today,
隆重集会
we gather here to
纪
solemnly
念中国人民
commemorate
抗日
the
战
80th
争
anniversary of the victory
及
of the
世
Chinese
界
People's
反法
War
西
of
斯战争
Resistance against
胜
the
利
Japanese
80周
aggression
年
and the World Anti-Fascist War.
共同铭记历史
It is an occasion
缅
for
怀
us to
先
remember
烈
history,
珍
honor
爱
fallen
和
heroes,
平
cherish
开
peace,
创未来
and create a better future.
我代表中共中
On
央
behalf of the Central Committee of the
全国
Communist Party
人
of
大
China, the National People's
国
Congress,
务院
the State Council,
全国政协
the National Committee of the Chinese People's
中央
Political
军委
Consultative Conference, and the Central Military Commission,
向全国
I would
参
like
加
to pay
过
high
抗日战
tribute
争的
to
老战
our
士
veteran soldiers and
老
comrades,
同志
patriots,
爱国人
and
士
officers who fought in the
和抗日
war of
将领
resistance against Japanese aggression,
向为中国人民抗日战争胜利
and to the Chinese nationals
做出
from home
重大
and
贡
abroad
献的
who made important
海内
contributions
外
to
中华
our
儿
victory.
女致以崇高敬意，向支
I
援
would also like to express
和帮助
my
过
sincere
中
thanks
国人民
to
抵抗侵略的外国政
foreign
府
governments
和国际友人
that
表示
supported
衷
and
心
assisted
感
the
谢
Chinese people in resisting aggression.
向参加今天大会的
I
各国
also
来
extend
宾
a warm welcome
表
to
示
our guests
热烈
from
欢
around
迎
the world who are with us today.
同志们、朋友们，
Comrades and friends,
中国人民抗日战争
the Chinese people's
是
war
艰
of
苦卓
resistance
绝
against the
的
Japanese aggression
伟大战
was the
争，
great war fought with tenacity
在中
and
国
valor.
共产党倡导建立的
Under the banner of the
抗日民族统一
National
战线
United
旗帜下
Front， against Japanese aggression
中
established
国人
at
民
the
以铮
initiative
铮
of
铁
the
骨
Communist Party of
战
China,
强敌，
the Chinese people
以
stood
血
up
肉之
to
躯
fight the
筑
formidable
长
enemy
城，
within iron will,
取得
and formed a
近代
great
以
war
来
with flesh and blood to
反抗
defend the
外敌
nation,
入
and
侵的
ultimately achieved
第
the
一次
first complete
完
victory
全胜利。
in resisting foreign aggression in modern times.
中国人民抗日战争
The Chinese
是
people's
世
war
界
of
反
resistance
法
against
西
the
斯战
Japanese
争
aggression
的
was
重
an
要组
important
成
part
部
of the
分。
world anti-fascist war.
中国人民以巨大的
With huge
民族
national
牺牲，
sacrifice, the Chinese people
为拯救
made
人类文
major
明，
contributions
保
to
卫
saving
世界
human
和平
civilization and
做出
safeguarding
了
world
重大
peace.
贡献。历史警示我们，
History cautions us
人类命运休
that
戚与共。
humanity rises and falls together.
各个国家、各个民族只有
Only
平等
when
相
all
待、
countries and
和
nations
睦相处、
treat each other
守
as
望
equals,
相助，
coexist in
才能
peace
维
and
护
support each
共
other,
同安全，
can we uphold common
消灭
security,
战争根源，
eradicate the root cause of
不
war,
让历史悲
and
剧
prevent
重演。
the reoccurrence of historical tragedies.
同志们、朋友们，
Comrades and friends,
中华民族是不畏强暴
the、Chinese nation is a
自立
great
自
nation
强
that
的
is
伟大
never
民族。
intimidated by any bullies
当年
and always values
面对
independence
正
and
义与
forges
邪
ahead.
恶、光
In
明
the
与
past,
黑
when
暗、
faced with critical struggles
进
between
步与
good and
反动
evil,
的
light and
生死
darkness,
较量，
progress and reaction, the Chinese
中
people
国人民同仇
rallied
敌忾，
together to defy
奋起
the
反
enemy.
抗，为国家生存而战，
They fought for the
为
survival
民
of the
族复
country,
兴而战，
for the rejuvenation
为
of the
人
Chinese
类正
nation,
义而
and for
战。
justice of the whole humanity.
今天，人类又面
Today,
临和平还是战争、
humanity again has to choose
对话
between
还
peace
是对
and
抗、
war, dialogue
共
and
赢还是
confrontation,
零和的抉择。
win-win cooperation and zero-sum game.
中国人民坚定站在历史
The
正确
Chinese
一边
people，firmly stand
站
on
在
the
人
right
类
side
文
of
明
history
进步
and the
一边，
progress of human civilization.
坚持走和平发展道
We
路，
will remain committed to the path
与
of
各国
peaceful
人民
development
携手
and
构
join
建
hands with all
人类
peoples
命
around the
运共
world
同
in
体。
building a community with a shared future for humanity.
中国人民解放军
The Chinese People's
始
Liberation
终是
Army has been
党和人
and
民
will always be
完全可以
the
信赖
heroic
的
armed
英
forces that
雄
the
部队。
party and the people can fully
全
trust
军
and
将
rely
士
on.
要忠实履行神圣
All
职
service
责，
members should
加快
faithfully
建设
perform their
世界
sacred
一
duties,
流军队，
speed up the building of a
坚决维
world-class
护
military,
国家主
and
权、
firmly
统
safeguard
一、
China's sovereignty,
领土完整，
unity, and territorial integrity.
为实现中华民族伟大
All
复兴
service members should
提
provide
供战略支
strategic
撑，
support for the great
为
rejuvenation of the
世界
Chinese
和
nation
平与发
and make
展
greater
做
contributions
出
to the
更大
peace
贡
and
献。
development of the world.
历史承载过去，
History
也
carries
启
the
迪未
legacy
来
of。the past and inspires the future.
新时代新征程，
On a new journey in a
全
new
国各族
era,
人民
the Chinese people
要在中国
of
共
all
产党
ethnic
坚
groups
强领导
should,
下，
under the strong leadership of the Communist Party of
坚
China,
持马克思列宁主
follow
义、
Marxism, Leninism,
毛泽东
Mao
思
Zedong
想、
thought,
邓小平理
Deng Xiaoping
论，
theory,
三个代表重要思
The
想
theory of three represents
科学发展
and
观
the scientific outlook and
全面
development
贯彻新时代
and fully
中国
implement
特
the
色
thoughts on
社会主
socialism
义思
with
想，
Chinese characteristics for the new era.
坚定不移走中国特色
We
社
should
会主
stay
义道
firmly
路
on，the path of socialism with
传
Chinese
承和弘
characteristics
扬
and carry
伟
forward
大
the
抗
great
战精
spirit
神，
of the war of
脱
resistance.
力奋发，
We should press
勇
ahead
毅
with
前行，
enterprise and resolve
为
and
中国式
advance
现
in
代
unity
化
the cause of building
全面
China
推
into a
进
great
强
country
国建
on
设
all fronts
民
and
族
realizing great
复兴
national
伟业
rejuvenation through
而
China's
团结奋
modernization.
斗。中华民族伟大复兴势
The
不可
great
挡，
rejuvenation of the Chinese
人类
nation
和
is
平与发展的
irresistible.
崇高
The
事
noble
业
cause of peace
必
and
将胜
development
利。
of humanity will prevail.
阅兵开始。
The military parade now begins. Markers in position.
The parade guards mark positions and boundaries at the parade ground. 60 soldiers will line up in front of the eastern and western ornament columns on the Tiananmen Square.
Marching with steadfast footsteps and imposing bearing, the ironclad troops showcase their unshakable faith, strong conviction, strict discipline, and firm commitment to their duties.
Standing firm on the ground of the motherland and bearing the hope of the Chinese nation, the heroic People's Liberation Army has forged ahead dauntlessly throughout wars, achieving great historic feats for the party and the people.
At this solemn moment today, the People's Armed Forces are ready for the inspection of General Secretary of the Communist Party of China's Central Committee, Chinese President, and Chairman of the Central Military Commission, Xi Jinping. They are also ready to be reviewed by the party and the people.
Comrade Chairman, the troops for review are fully prepared. Please proceed with the inspection. Chief Commander of the Parade, Han Zhengxuan. Let's begin.
Next, President Xi will pay an eye salute to the party national and military flags.
In a typical back and forth, President Xi says, "Salute to you, comrades." And the soldiers reply, "Hail to Chairman." The president then says, "Comrades, thank you for your hard work." To which the soldiers reply, "We serve the people."
As you could hear right there, the phrase "serve the people" was written into the party constitution at the 7th National Congress of the Communist Party of China in 1945. Serving the people wholeheartedly was established as the fundamental principle of the party and the People's Liberation Army.
President Xi's car rides past each segment of the troops, he greets the soldiers. The troops respond vociferously, paying respect and demonstrating their loyalty. These phrases are used in inspections, parades, and other military gatherings.
Itself not only as the defender of national sovereignty, but as an integral part of society with a direct responsibility to safeguard people's well-being. In peacetime, the Chinese military participates in missions that serve the people's interests, such as disaster relief. And all this has earned them the title, the most beloved people in China.
President Xi's car rides past the troops. The soldiers shout, follow the party's command, fight to win, forge exemplary conduct. Justice will prevail. Peace will prevail. The people will prevail.
man sets the military's political orientation. Fighting to win is the basic function of the military, and the fundamental objective is development. Forging exemplary conduct demonstrates the Army's nature and principle.
Justice will prevail. Peace will prevail. The people will prevail. These three phrases were the closing lines in President Xi's speech 10 years ago, when the country marked the 70th anniversary of the victory of Chinese People's War of Resistance against Japanese aggression and the World Anti-Fascist War. Foot formations are now adjusting their lines. Vehicles and armaments are lining up. They will soon march to the Tiananmen rostrum.
The People's Liberation Army is known as the PLA. In 1927, its frontrunners were founded by the Communist Party of China. It was originally called the Chinese Workers and Peasants Red Army. This year marks the 98th anniversary of the founding of the PLA.
during the 14-year-long War of Resistance, under the leadership of the Communist Party of China, the 8th Red Army and the new 4th Army, together with the Chinese people, defeated the Japanese forces and enveloped the invaders. They asserted their role in the battlefields and achieved victory in the war for national liberation.
Since the founding of the People's Republic of China in 1949, the PLA has also undertaken the tasks of national defense and socialist construction, while transforming itself into a more revolutionary and modernized military.
Alongside the latest generation of conventional weapons, the parade will feature unmanned intelligence systems, underwater combat units, cyber and electronic forces, and hypersonic weapons, highlighting the PLA's growing capacity to harness emerging technologies, adapt to the evolving character of warfare, and prevail in future conflicts.
Just as China's weaponry has seen remarkable evolution over the years, the Chinese military has also continuously strengthened itself by reinforcing the primacy of political guidance and advancing comprehensive reforms.
China pursues a national defense policy that is defensive in nature. China will never seek hegemony, expansion, or spheres of influence.
Today, the PLA protects China and its people while making significant contributions to safeguarding world peace. It is the largest contributing country for peacekeepers among the permanent members of the UN Security Council.
China has formulated a three-step development strategy for modernizing national defense and the armed forces to achieve the centenary goals of strengthening the PLA by 2027, realize the modernization of national defense and the armed forces by 2035, and fully build the military into a world-class one by 2050.
The centenary objectives state that by 2027, China will accelerate the integrated development of mechanization, informationization, and intelligentization, accelerate the modernization of military theory, organizational forms, personnel and weaponry, and prioritize quality and efficiency to enhance operational efficiency of military systems, and optimize the utilization of defense resources and promote the synchronized growth of defense and economic strengths. that form the aerial echelons will take off from several airports and fly over the Tiananmen Square.
A total of 45 formations and echelons are involved in the Grand Parade. During the parade march past, airborne flag-guarding echelons, flood formations, battle flag formations, armament columns, and aerial echelons will pass through or fly past Tiananmen Square in order. The parade is organized under a wartime command system, will involve thousands of troops, over 100 aircraft, and hundreds of ground armaments.
Commence the march past.
Flag guides the direction. Flag pulls strength. The march past begins with the airborne flag guard echelon.
Accompanied by impassioned military music, the flag of the CPC, the national flag of the People's Republic of China, and the flag of the People's Liberation Army are fluttering high in the air. 26 helicopters form huge numerical shapes of 8 and 0. 3 helicopters were bearing the banners that read, "Justice will prevail, peace will prevail, the people will prevail." These messages are a great truth inspired by history, a solemn proclamation of the right course, a clarion call in an era of peace and development.
The Chinese nation always cherishes peace and takes side with historical correctness, fairness, and justice. The People's Military will always lead that iron and great wall, defending national sovereignty, security, and development interests, as well as a pillar of world peace.
echelons participate in the parade, and most of the weapons and equipment are shown to the public for the first time. It not only embodies the continuation of the heroic armed forces during the war of resistance, but also demonstrates the new look of the people's military in the new era with enhanced political awareness and its new structure and force composition, new progress and modernization, and new achievements, and enhancing combat readiness.
First to be inspected are 13 flag formations. After a comprehensive and deepened reform, the People's Military has formed a new system of services and arms. 4 service formations, 4 armed formations, and the formation of the Armed Police Force will be holding their respective flags to make a group debut during the parade. National and military flags. The formation of the Guard of Honor of the PLA is marching toward us. The People's Armed Forces, under the leadership of the CPC, are always the defenders of the country, socialism, and people's interests.
Is marching towards us as the earliest armed forces established and led by the party. The PLA army fought the enemies fearlessly and achieved immortal feats through countless battles. In the new era, the army is transforming itself fast to operate in multiple domains.
Is the Navy formation. Breaking the waves and navigating to the deep blue, the PLA Navy has comprehensively strengthened its maritime deterrent and combat capabilities to safeguard peace and stability at the sea, moving fast to become a world-class naval force.
Formation. Building a strong air force has been the unremitting pursuit of the party and the people. Taking off in times of wars and sharpening its edge through battles, the PLA Air Force is making great strides towards integrating air and space capabilities and coordinating offensive and defensive operations.
Under inspection is the Rocket Force Formation. As a core force of China's strategic deterrence, the PLA Rocket Force serves as the strategic support of China's status as a big power and an important cornerstone to safeguard national security. It strives to become a modern armed force with both nuclear and conventional capabilities and able to deter wars in all battle spaces.
Space Force formation is making their debut in the parade. As a new domain, new quality force advocating peaceful utilization of space, PLA Aerospace Force safeguards the lasting peace and common security of space. It offers strategic support for being a great power in aerospace.
Also making its debut is the Cyber Space Force formation. China advocates building a peaceful, secure, open, cooperative, and orderly cyberspace. Through building a cyber Great Wall, China decisively safeguards its network security and sovereignty in the digital battlefield.
Formation is also making its debut at the Tiananmen Square. As a brand new strategic arm, the PLA Information Support Force is capable of capturing information heights, strives for innovation and development, and provides support to win informationized and intelligent wars in multiple domains.
Now receiving inspection is the Joint Logistics Support Force formation. From self-reliance during the War of Resistance all the way to becoming part of the synchronized operational systems and providing effective and precise assistance in the new era, the PLA Joint Logistics Support System has made new strides.
Is the Armed Police Force formation. From metropolises to remote coastal areas, the People's Armed Police Force, either performing regular duties, handling emergencies, or engaging in rescue operations, is dedicated to safeguarding national security and social stability and ensuring people's well-being. Distinguished by its versatility and effectiveness in maintaining stability, the Armed Police Force is always a loyal guard of the party and the people.
Next comes the Reserve Force formation. New types of reserve forces have been fully integrated into the leadership and command systems of the military. They're ever prepared to fight and carry out the missions of the people's military in coordination with the active duty forces in the new era.
Foundation of victory. Now marching forward is the militia formation. The militia women are from the major wartime counter-Japanese base areas across China. During the War of Resistance, Chinese people, regardless of their gender or ages, acted as one in safeguarding their homes. The red genes have passed on from one generation to another. In the new era, the militia forces provide backup services during peaceful time.
China has been contributing to maintaining world peace. The peacekeeping force formation is marching towards us. China is the largest troop-contributing country for peacekeeping among the permanent members of the UN Security Council. Having participated in UN peacekeeping operations for 35 years, the Chinese peacekeeping forces have confronted daunting challenges and fulfilled their missions. The forces have guarded world peace without hesitating to sacrifice their lives, demonstrated through their action how China assumes its responsibility as a major power, making great contributions to building a community with a shared future for humanity.
Led by the banner formation are ready to be revealed. Once utilizing inferior weapons during the War of Resistance, the PLA has accelerated to develop new weapons, including massively deployed killer heavyweight weapons, thus being better equipped to deter enemies and win the war. Showcases 80 honorary banners of the hero unit troops, bearing glory from the past. The banners symbolize heroism and victory and will always propel the People's Army to forge ahead. 4 formations of the Land Combat Group are ready to be revealed. Marching towards us is the ground assault formation, grouped in an arrow-shaped array. The Type 99B tank features strong striking abilities, powered with information. The Type 100 tank and the Type 100 fighting vehicle are highly intelligent, capable of coordinated combat. New generation armored units of the PLA Army's ground assault forces demonstrate the strong ability of capturing strongholds with mobility and piercing fortifications.
Next is the amphibious assault vehicle formation, made up of amphibious wheeled armored assault vehicles, infantry fighting vehicles, and self-propelled howitzers. Capable of storming the shoreline for assault with strong mobility and flexibility, they are key armaments for the Marine Corps to take the lead in landing operations and a key area seizure.
towards us is the imposing airborne assault formation. Diverse airborne armaments of the formation are able to make long-distance air drop, provide heavy equipped maneuvering support. They are sharp weapons for the Army to make rapid response and deep strike.
Formation of long-range artillery for subjugation and precision strike. The two types of 191 box-shaped rocket artilleries are capable of making strike and providing support, expanding the Army's capability in terrestrial battle.
Are three formations of the Maritime Combat Group. First comes the carrier-based air defense weapon formation. Being reviewed are four types of armaments that compose a three-dimensional system for air defense covering all ranges. The carrier-based laser weapons are strongly capable of precision destruction and consistent strike, defining the new landscape of maritime attack and defense.
Ship missile formation consists of NG-15 missile, NG-19, NG-17, and NG-20 hypersonic missiles. Missiles can be deployed on multiple platforms, such as carrier-based aircraft, surface vessels, and submarines, featuring long-range strike, fast speed, and strong destruction. They're sharp weapons for striking enemies on the sea.
Is the underwater weapon formation. Light and heavy torpedoes, as well as torpedoes propelled by rockets, are able to strike vessels and to strike undersea targets. The new special purpose naval mines can autonomously identify and attack targets. They are key forces for guarding strongholds and making waves in naval warfare.
Formations of the Air Defense and Anti-Missile Operations Group will be inspected. Here comes the Early Warning Detection Formation. The four types of weapons that are being inspected are all new generations of domestically made, highly mobile radar. In group coordination, they can detect stealth aircraft and ballistic missiles far and near. They provide early warning for the country's airspace and aerial security.
Combat formation. It's a heroic unit which has accomplished glorious wartime feats. 6 types of ground-to-air missiles, including HONG-20, HONG-19, and HONG-29, are now being made public at Tiananmen. They can carry out multi-range and multi-layered anti-ballistic defense capable of fighting against all range threats from the air.
The anti-drones formation set to defend the low-altitude domain. It includes anti-drones missile and artillery systems, high-energy laser weapons, and high-power microwave weapons. The trio can work together to disable and destroy enemy drones.
Information warfare group, which consists of 3 formations. Driving towards us is the cyberspace combat formation. The 4 types of equipment being inspected can command and control, detect and sense, and carry out cyber and electronic countermeasures in an integrated way. It is a new force that consolidates cyber defense and empowers joint force operations.
Here comes the electronic countermeasure formation. 5 types of their key equipment are displayed. They can detect and monitor all frequencies and subdue the enemy forces precisely. They are capable of aerial and space countermeasures and disconnecting the enemy networks. They are a crucial force in securing victory on doomed multi-domain battlefields.
Support formation. It is made up of vehicles capable of traveling digital intelligence, forming air-ground networks, integrating information on the battlefield. They can quickly establish new types of internet communication systems to support joint operations.
Next to be inspected is the unmanned combat group, consisting of 3 formations. First, we have the unmanned land combat formation. These unmanned vehicles can carry out various tasks such as reconnaissance, assaults, mine and bomb defusing and removal, and SWAT assistance. They can be operated remotely and are able to move independently, work flexibly in groups, and make intelligent maneuvers. With that, the Army can make coordinated operations between manned and unmanned forces.
Now approaching is the unmanned maritime combat formation. Being reviewed now are new types of unmanned underwater vehicles and unmanned surface vehicles, as well as underwater mine deployment systems, which are capable of hit deployment and blockade, independent target identification, and group-based attacks. They are extraordinary weaponry to win maritime combat.
standing by next is the unmanned aerial combat formation. The new models of weaponry include reconnaissance and strike drones, unmanned wing planes, unmanned air domination planes, and unmanned aircraft carrier-borne helicopters. Covering a wide range of space, they can attack in a way that is difficult to be detected and can automatically coordinate with one another, creating a new model of future-oriented aerial combat scenario.
Two formations of the Logistics and Equipment Support Group are to be revealed. The Logistics Support Formation consists of field ambulances, field hospital installations, fuel transport and refueling vehicles, field hot meal providing system. They have greatly enhanced modern logistics support for the troops.